Good evening. It's about 20 past 5. Just got in from work um, and got into my warm clothes because it's feeling chilly. And the reason it's feeling chilly is because it's clear. We have clear skies. I can see the moon and a star, only one. We don't see many stars here in London. So, rewind to yesterday. Sunday was a fairly relaxed day, which was very nice. A little bit of photography, a little bit of filming, couple of reels that I did on Instagram. If you don't follow us on Instagram, you can find us, Richard and Paul. It was a lovely, lovely Sunday. Had my bath and, all of those kind of things, which was good. So back at work today, as I say, it's been a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. Gorgeous. Long may it continue. I believe it is set to continue until Thursday. Wouldn't you know it? My day off. Great. And we are hoping to go out somewhere this week again. Just trying to make the most of the time off, and also make the most of it being in between school terms. So even though when we went to Greenwich last week, it was quite busy, it wasn't too bad. So during the school holidays, places can be completely overrun with really poorly behaved children, frankly, which I don't like. Neither of us like that. I mean, we love it when places are completely deserted and it's just us. Very often we find that's the case at Kew Gardens, which is one of the reasons why we really enjoy going there, because we have the place to ourselves. We're sort of looking at places to visit that maybe we've not been to before, or places that we've been to before that we've really enjoyed, that we said at the time, we'd like to go again. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So hopefully Thursday or Friday will be a trip out again. It's weird because I feel as though time is sort of really moving quickly at the moment. And I seem to reach Wednesday afternoon in a flash. And I seem to be sort of wishing the work days away, I do try to enjoy my day at work. I try to get satisfaction out of the day by putting a good amount of energy into whatever I do. If something is worth doing, do it well. And my job is worth doing because my job is essentially helping people get to the right person in our team or pointing them in the right direction for help. So it is worthwhile. So, there is a big part of me that really does enjoy it. It has its annoying moments, quite a few of them actually. It has its frustrating moments. At the moment, I'm struggling to get a sort of major job done, which is the sink in the gents' loo upstairs. It has been now about 5 weeks since I called the job in, and the engineer came to look at fixing a dripping tap, ended up cracking the basin, and rendering the whole loo unusable because there's nowhere to wash hands, which is a big part of infection control, having a facility, a hand washing facility that works. So that can no longer be used. So we're still waiting for that to be sorted, which is immensely frustrating for me because I keep getting asked the question, when's the loo going to be sorted? And the gents have to come down a flight of stairs, an external staircase, to go to the downstairs loo, which is essentially the visitor's toilet. Our facilities aren't that good. I mean, it's a really old building that we work in terms of it being, I think, built in the late 60s. Um, and in many ways, it's very run down. A lot of the facilities have never been upgraded because it's local authority. They just don't have the money to splash out on those things. So things have to be repaired as and when. Um, but I'm the one that generally calls the jobs in. So I'm the one that has to chase them. So there are some immensely frustrating elements to my job, which really get boring after a while. You know, I like things to be done in a timely manner. So I have to change my expectations very often, you know. So yeah, I had to deal with some of that today. But yeah, the day was fine. And as I said before, it's just great to see sun. And it's great to leave work with the sort of glow in the sky where the sun has just gone down. But I was also thinking as well, as I was walking through the lamp-lit streets, which in itself is interesting because half the streets are lit in old-style orange lights and half the other streets are lit in modern white LED lights. There are some streets which sit in a conservation area and they've got the old style sort of Narnia type street lamps. Anyway, now I was thinking about how we always get so elated and filled with joy when the clocks change in March. And each year I sort of go, God, why are we so surprised? It happens every year. But in my middle age, I get it. Because I thought, okay, November, December, January, February, March, it's the best part of 5 months to wait until we get fully light nights. I mean, obviously from December the 22nd, it starts to gradually get lighter and lighter and lighter. But that leap that we take at the end of March projects us into the light and we rejoice. Yeah, the prospect of 5 months of dull, dark weather. Yeah. But we have to face it, and face it together we will. That's my mission. So yeah, and I guess that's why we have so many festivals in the winter to celebrate the eventual return, the hope that the light will come back, as we know it will. Yeah, there we are. So I'm hunkering down for the evening. I am going to do a little bit of reading from my folklore, myths and legends book. I'm still continuing with it, and it still continues to absolutely fascinate me. And in fact, Paul came across a story from a town in Devon about the Devil's Rock. And I said, that's in my book. And it is. So when I said, I think a couple of weeks ago, about it being the encyclopedia of folklore, myths and legends, it certainly is. If it ain't in the book, it ain't worth reading, I tell ya. Anywho, I'm waffling now. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Good evening. I'm trying to choose an angle tonight that stops the lights sort of from flaring and flickering because it's so annoying, and it would annoy me as a viewer. So apologies. I can't go on. It's about, I don't know, 5:30, something like that. I've not long got in from work. I was a little bit late tonight because I had a piece of work I needed to finish, we are trialling our meeting room bookings as Outlook calendars, because we use a paper diary which works really well. And because it's a dynamic situation, it's always changing. It's pretty instant, but we're trialing a new way of doing it using Outlook that only the admin team have access to. But I'm going to keep the paper diary as a backup system while we transition, just in case we lose IT, there's some disaster and we don't know who's coming in because nobody can get into their computers, and that has happened. So I like to have a backup system. I'm old school. Anyhow, I wanted to finish putting some of those appointments in, transferring them from the paper diary to the computer. Oh, pardon me, I've just had a cup of tea. So I was doing that, basically. So weather-wise, it is feeling very wintry out there tonight. It's very dark. There's no sign of light in the far western sky tonight at all. It's black, pitch black. And it is drizzling, a very icy feeling drizzle. So, and there's a wind as well. So yeah, I'm wrapped up warm now. Got my thermals on, got layers on. Yeah, so they're saying that potentially in the extreme north that there's going to be potentially snow. I know, don't think we'll get any down here yet, but that's quite unusual for this time of year. We certainly don't really get snow proper until January, usually. But hey, the weather today is not usual, is it? No. So today's been relatively busy. Phones were fairly quiet, but there was plenty of other work to do. So that was good. What else has happened? Not an awful lot. Work. So not a huge amount to report. My working week is almost over in a flash again. Yeah, I still don't know whether I'm totally used to it yet. Feels a bit weird sometimes to have such a short working week. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else to report. What I had been looking at that I wanted to share was recipes for biscuits. I seem to be slightly obsessed with wanting to cook biscuits at the moment. I think it must be a winter thing. But one of the recipes I was looking at was savoury oat biscuits that you'd maybe have with cheese or pate or something, or just on their own. So I'm hoping to bring you a recipe for something fairly simple and easy to make, nothing complex. So yeah, look out for that coming soon. So I hope you're all enjoying your week so far, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Wednesday evening. I made it through. And it did feel like a flash. I was mentioning that on Monday. Yeah. So, Wednesday afternoon, I had a bit of a rest. I did. I really fancied an afternoon nap, so I did. Got on the sofa, napped for, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. It was divine. And then I woke up to a beautiful sunset, so immediately went upstairs, filmed it for Instagram, took a few snaps, and then did a little bit of computer work. So it's been a pleasant afternoon. Yeah, there isn't much to report. It was a fairly busy morning at work. Wednesday morning usually is. It's jam-packed full of stuff that needs to be done. And I sort of have to tell people not to keep giving me things to control the workflow, otherwise it's too much. Did a wash, put that out. So that's drying with a fan on it at the moment. The upstairs of the house is so lovely and warm compared with the downstairs, I tell you. I came down here and said to Paul, blimey, it feels cold down here. And we are due, I believe, a real cold snap from next week, the end of next week. According to the weather forecast, the temperature is going to drop throughout next week, bringing, cold weather and frosts. Hurrah! Oh. Really not looking forward to that at all. So yeah, there you go. That's it for this afternoon. Nothing else to report. I'll see you tomorrow. Good afternoon. It's Thursday afternoon, and as you can see, I'm in the kitchen and I've got my light on because I am doing some filming while I am baking. So today I am making savoury oat cookies with caraway seeds and rosemary. Fresh rosemary from the garden, from the herb window box just outside this window. And I got the recipe on a website called gorgeousrecipes.com, so I'll put a link in below. They look pretty easy to make, so I'm going to get on with it and show you how I'm doing it. So the ingredients are really simple. It's oats, flour, butter, which I'm going to melt, caraway seeds, fresh rosemary chopped, baking powder and salt, and some hot water. What I'll be doing is putting the full recipe on our Facebook group, Planet Vegetaria. I'm going to start by combining all the dry ingredients. Give them a stir. Add the melted butter. Give that a stir. Then gradually add the water bit by bit. Then I'm going to go in with my hand. Now I'm going to roll it out. It's quite a stiff dough. It feels sticky at first, but then it sort of dries up. So I've got my cookie cutter as well. So let's roll it out. So that's made a total of 18, which is really good. So they're going to need to go into the oven now. Okay, time to put them in. 180 fan for about 20 to 25 minutes. So they're in the oven, and we'll see how they do. Doing cookery videos, going into the dark now, my nose is running as well. I got a tissue, yes I have, always got a tissue. Doing cookery videos is, what's the word, how can I put it in a nice way? It's a pain in the backside. God, it's so dim again today. Yeah, it's a pain in the backside because I'm trying to make 2 videos out of the whole process. One for you, and I'm also trying to do a reel, and I'm also taking photographs as well. Because when you do all of this social media thing, you have to put some effort in, you know, in order to get new viewers, to keep your views up, to keep people interested. So doing cookery videos just sort of adds to all of that, and you sort of have to break it all down and think, how do I want this to look? How can it be the best I can do? Not necessarily like a professional cookery video, because look, we're not professional video makers. We're people making videos at home, you know, so it's never going to look professional because we don't have professional equipment, and we don't also have all the techniques that the professionals have. Plus, there isn't a team of people working in the background preparing stuff for you and filming it for you. You've got to do it all yourself. So it can be a pain in the backside. This is only a small recipe, so it's not too bad. And also, you know, I do want to bring you other stuff. You know, I want to keep it interesting for you as well as me. So, yeah. So they're in the oven. Oh, shoot, I didn't put the timer on. I cooked them, but they burned. I better put the timer on. I'm going to put it on at 20 minutes. Ooh, 20 minutes, that's it. Whew. Good job I thought of that. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they turn out. I'm also thinking of doing some more sweet biscuits as well, just for fun. There was a recipe that I was looking at on Good Food, but all the reviews of it said, this recipe's awful, the mixture's too wet, blah, blah, blah. Now, with this one, I was quite lucky because I hadn't tested it. This is the first time I've made them, so they may not turn out, and all of this video may get scrapped. No, not really. I'll keep it in because it's my vlog, but the mixture felt really wet. So I sort of let it stand for 5 minutes or so, and it seemed to sort of, the moisture was soaked into the oats. I think that's what happens, and it dried up nicely. So it was easy to work with, so that's good. So yeah, weather-wise, it's very dull. We did have sun earlier, but the weather reports are not great. I think I said yesterday it's going to get really cold next week, like 0, freezing, blah, blah, blah. Welcome to winter. Yeah. Paul had a delivery this morning. He bought a new office chair from IKEA. So that meant we couldn't go out. So I had to sort of rearrange the day and think about doing other things like this. So, gosh, I look so glowing. I mean, glowing pale in this light. It's quite nice. Yeah. Silly. So, yeah, tomorrow, hopefully, we'll get out and go somewhere. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, I've got to do some chores at some point. Yeah. So, we're going to wait 20 minutes and then we're going to have a look and see how they turned out. See you in a minute. Well, let's have a look and see how they've turned out. Oh, they look good. Ooh. So there we are. Rosemary and Caraway Oat Biscuits, Savoury Oat Biscuits. So the most important part is to try them, see what they're like. Ooh, just dropped it almost. They've got a creaminess to them. Obviously very oaty. There's no strength of flavour in the rosemary, so it's not overpowering. It's very subtle. They're crumbly, but they're holding together. They're not falling apart. They're very much like a biscuit. They'll be lovely with cheese. I think that's a success. I'll be making them again. So I think that was a successful bake. I'm really pleased with how they've turned out. And also what I'm really pleased about is that I'm sort of expanding my knowledge in terms of cooking biscuits. I don't have, I think I've said before, I don't have a huge amount of experience in cooking biscuits and cookies. It's kind of fairly new to me, although I have made shortbread thins before, quite successfully a couple of times. I've also made cheese straws as well. But it's not my, I mean, I'm not a cook particularly, but I know how to cook. So it's, I think, good to expand your repertoire. So, yeah. I think the light just changed then. Oh, yeah. Alexa, front room off. There we are. Yeah, it's the turn on at dusk that we've got in the house. The lights come on in certain areas. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. That was a good experiment, and we've now got some biscuits. There were 18, there are now 16, because I've eaten 2 for filming purposes. We've now got a little stock of oat biscuits to go with lunches, for a snack, with a little bit of cheese, a little bit of cream cheese maybe. So yeah, all good. As you can see, the light is fading. It is 4:15. Paul and I need to build this chair that he's bought. He's not had an office chair for absolutely ages. Our little office chair broke, which was from IKEA, but we bought it many years ago, and he's been using a fold-up IKEA chair, which we bought years ago, little wooden fold-ups, very handy to have around the house. But he's finding that difficult, so he's bought himself another office chair. Quite a stylish one, actually. It was just over, I think it was just over £100, I think. So we've got to build it. Naturally, it's from IKEA. So we'll do that later. And I need to get some editing done and make sense of all these videos that I've just made of me making these biscuits. Because I want one of them to be a reel, as I said before. So the whole process is a little bit convoluted and confusing because I've got bits of footage on the camera, bits of footage on the phone, blah, blah, blah. They've all got to be put together. And of course, for a reel, you have to film vertically. So, yeah, sometimes it's, you know, all for the audience at the end of the day. And whatever the outcome is, I do hope you enjoy it. So, and I do enjoy making videos. It's just sometimes it's a little time consuming and energy consuming as well. It's not too bad when you're out and about filming nature or a place that you're visiting, because you kind of do it in a linear way. So you kind of remember what you filmed, but doing this, it sort of feels all over the place. So I know cookery videos, as I said before, are the most complex to make. Anywho, I'm going to put the full recipe on Planet Vegetaria. So if you're not already a member, join us on Planet Vegetaria, but also it's on Facebook. But also when you do join, you need to answer the questions in order to get in, or else the computer will say no. So there's just a few simple questions. It's nothing difficult. So take care. Maybe see you later if we get a sunset, but I don't think we're going to. It looks pretty overcast out there. Not that I can tell because I can't see a patch of sky from here, but it's ended up overcast. So yeah. Toodle pip. So today we are walking at West Wycombe, which is not too far from High Wycombe, and it is the site, West Wycombe is the site where the Dashwood Mausoleum sits, and also the church with the golden ball, and the Hellfire Caves. We're just taking a route that we've not been along before, and we're walking up the hill, so there will be some views when we get to the top. We've just parked in the garden centre car park. You have to pay, and we've just been to the loo as well. And we were going to have a coffee, but it was so full of screaming children that Paul said, "This is my idea of hell." So we came out. We may go back there. But look at these gorgeous autumn colours up here. And the leaves falling. It's that real golden time. I can see to my left that there are some views coming up, so yeah. It's Friday, by the way. Beautiful. These are all yew trees, very old yew trees. They've done a lot of cutting back recently by the looks of things. Apparently this is the site of an Iron Age hill fort, so I think it's probably got a lot of ancient history attached to it. Look at that, it's like a tunnel. So if I pop through here, we should get a view. Oh yeah. We've just sat down to have a cup of tea, and Paul's spilling the tea.
I was looking for the helicopter. Must be above the cloud line.
The cloud is trying to break up. There's obviously a fire going on over there on a farm. Let's see if we can zoom in.
There's a helicopter above the fire.
Can't quite see it with my naked eyes, but I'm sure the camera's picking it up. Or not. So this is the Buckinghamshire countryside. Around the Wycombe area. It's rolling hills. And it's very pretty.
This is all down here on the other side of the road. It's Wycombe Estate, which is huge.
Yeah, and I think I said earlier it's home to the Dashwood family. Where? Oh, it's there. Oh, I see. Don't know whether you can see that helicopter. Looks like a tiny speck.
It's one of those that they call dragonfly helicopters.
Oh, I don't know. Like a whirlybird.
A whirlybird, yeah. Like they used to use, what was it, in Skippy and things.
Skippy?
The bush kangaroo.
Wasn't there a show called Whirlybirds?
I think there was, yeah. There's sheep over there.
You and your bloody sheep.
And then there's corn. It still looks like it hasn't been harvested. Sweeping around that field.
The sun is trying its best to break through. So this is the church, which sits on top of the hill with the golden ball, which was used for some kind of meeting. You can actually sit in the golden ball, apparently.
Ball and the door at the top.
Then over here you've got the mausoleum, the Dashwood Mausoleum, which we'll go round to the front and have a look at. It all looks a bit, I don't know, dilapidated. The windows need a good paint. And clearly most of these graves are very, very old. I like a graveyard. So peaceful. I can see that that window there is stained glass. Shame, really. And a lot of these plastic flowers are all quite faded. So we're walking from the graveyard to the hillside. You'll see the view, beautiful view. Stunning scenery from here. In the distance you can see Dashwood House, or West Wycombe House I think it's called, not sure, but the home of the Dashwood family, nestled in the countryside, but closed to the public at the moment. Here is the Dashwood Mausoleum in all its splendour, creepy splendour. It's certainly an imposing sight and has been used on many an occasion for film location. Let's go and have a little closer look. We can't go in, obviously, but it is very creepy. There we are. This is the entrance to the Hellfire Caves, under the hill. Yeah, it's rather scary looking, isn't it? So we've just come down the hill, and would you believe it, the sun's coming out now, making all the views look even better, but hey, typical. That smoke is really making things look hazy. So we're driving back through West Wycombe village, which is a really, really old village with really old architecture. I mean, I don't think there is a modern building down this street at all. And when we drove through earlier, it was dead as a dodo. There was no traffic, nothing, and now look at it. What time is it? Oh, it's 1:45. It's later than I thought. But yeah, I just wanted to show it to you because it's a parked vehicle or something, a parked car causing the hold up. There are lots of old shops, there are lots of sort of little pubs as well, I think. But it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, as you can see. And so nice to see a place so untouched. I mean, there must be about 5 or 6 pubs in that stretch. Look at this one here. That's so old. Wow. This area is quite well known for very old buildings. We've just got home and it's been quite a nice pleasant journey. And as you can see, the garden is glowing in sort of autumn sunshine. Looking lovely. I also wanted to show you this as well. Another cactus, a very pale pink one this time. We've been really spoilt with cactus this autumn. Beautiful. So yeah, we're back home. Morning walk out at West Wycombe, which is somewhere that we've been to quite a few times. It's quite an easy little walk up the hill. I'm just opening the blinds to let some of this gorgeous light in. Yeah, it's somewhere that we're familiar with, but haven't been to for quite some time. And in fact, the last time that we were there, we met Michael and Nicola, the ghost hunters. If you're watching, Michael and Nicola, hi, hope you're okay. It's a shame that the sun came out kind of as we were leaving, but hey, not to worry. I guess some of the photos and video will be quite atmospheric. So things for you to Google if you're interested in learning more about West Wycombe. Dashwood Mausoleum. If you look that up, you'll find plenty of information on the area. But it's full of all sorts of places to visit. And it's a very old area, as you saw from those buildings. So it's, it's one of those places that has a, what's the word? A mystique about it, an air of mystery, and strangeness, especially the Hellfire Caves. I mean, you know, you can look those up as well. I think there was some pretty strange goings on there in times gone by the elite. And I'm talking orgies and things like that. Yeah. We have visited the Hellfire Caves. We've been down there, and it is interesting. Caves aren't my favourite thing, but, you know, you have to give these things a go and push yourself, overcome the fears. Yeah. So, yeah, we enjoyed that. We're going to have some lunch now, and I need to do some editing to put all of this together for you. This afternoon, I am toying with the idea of making some more biscuits, but sweet ones this time. And I'm thinking I might have a look at doing Millionaire's shortbread, because that's one of my favourite things. And I've got a tin of condensed milk in the cupboard, which is ideal for making caramel. So we'll see. We'll see how I get on. I might even just scrap all of that and have an afternoon nap. I slept really well last night. In fact, too well. It was quite a heavy sleep. I felt a bit sort of, this morning, a bit dopey and bleary-eyed. But we've blown away the cobwebs with that walk, so I'm just looking at the blue sky and the sun. Gorgeous. But this is a sign that there are colder days to come. Not looking forward to that. Not looking forward to trying to heat the house and keep things comfortable. Hey ho. So I'll say goodbye for today, and I'll see you tomorrow for the final vlog of the week. Bye for now. Good morning. It's Saturday morning. So Paul's just popped out. He's gone to get some rice flour, of all things. He's making something that requires rice flour. So, lovely. So, last night, let's talk about last night. Oh, fireworks. So yesterday was a Sikh festival, Guru Nanak's 555th birthday. So I think this was the reason for the fireworks. And it was really, really excessive. I mean, Diwali is excessive, but this year didn't seem as bad. I don't know. I'm sort of in conflict because I love watching fireworks at a distance. I don't like the pollution. I don't like the noise. I don't think fireworks suit modern day living now. But I do love looking at them. So, you know, I kind of bought into it by going upstairs and taking some footage, which I will roll at the end of the programme today, for those of you who enjoy fireworks. This was really in the distance, quite far away, so I had to zoom right in to capture them, and they were very pretty. But the noise and some of the loud booms, deep booms, were so bloody loud that I reckon if you were nearby, your whole house would have shook. So, my point is that I can't find out where this display was or who organised it. Because if one did want to complain and say, look, this was excessive, you can't be doing this in this day and age, one can't, because one doesn't even know which borough it was in. Whether it was in Ealing, whether it was in Hayes. I don't know. I don't know whereabouts it was. So it went on till 11 o'clock. From about 7 o'clock. It was really, really annoying. And of course, a lot of people find it very distressing as well. And animals find it distressing. And, they need to be silent nowadays. And they need to be not going on for the best part of 3 hours. Really. Anywho. We've just filmed Sunday Chat, which we mention all of that on as well. And I'm going to get on with editing now. It's about, I think it's coming up to midday. The weather is very grey, yet again, very overcast, feeling cooler, but not freezing cold. There was a little bit of condensation on the windows this morning in the bedroom, so we're getting to that time of year. Such a pain in the backside, it really is. Not being able to heat your home to a certain, level is really annoying because of cost. Next week is going to be a challenge. It really is. I mean, I think we're spending at the moment, when we're both here all day, it's easily £5 or £6 for the day for gas and electric. And that's with minimal heating. I think the most comfortable time of day is the evening when we have the candles on and the heating comes on around 8. That's sort of between 8 and 10. That's when it sort of feels warm in the front room. Yeah, it's a bit depressing, isn't it? Anyway, I'm not going to go on about that because we've done that to death and there's nothing I can do to change it. So yeah, I think this afternoon I am probably going to do some more baking, but I'm not sure what. I may not do Millionaire's shortbread because I'm going to have to end up freezing them because I don't want to be eating a ton of Millionaire's shortbread in one go. Oh. Which, yeah, is not really sensible to do. So I'm going to look at whether I do that or not. I'm tempted by it, sorely tempted by it, because I love it. And I'll probably end up giving it away to my neighbour who loves sweet things. So we'll see. But I'm kind of really bitten by the baking bug. Put it that way. So I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to roll some footage of fireworks and put some music to it for those of you who enjoy watching without the bangs and the pollution, because it was quite spectacular. There was a lot of money going up in smoke last night as well. That's the other thing, isn't it? What could that money have been put towards? So it's bittersweet that I share this with you. So I'll see you for Sunday Chat. Hope you enjoyed this rather lengthy vlog this week. Hopefully there's something for everybody. Yeah. Take care. Toodle pip. Au revoir.